Not as good as yesterday. Look it. Here's my view. We're going to support this caucus is going to support the governor and his plan and his framework all the way. And we're working very well together. But just for myself, I am. If these guys don't start moving and moving fast, I'm prepared to pull the plug. That's me. Now I'm going to again support the governor all the way. But that's how I feel.
What do you mean by
Because
what does that mean?
I mean that we're going to get to our floor. We're going to put up the vote, and if the vote isn't there, then we are going to, consider the other pathways which you know about. It is high time that this come to a close here. For the people of California, it's interesting talking to some of my colleagues here this morning about the kinds of calls they're getting from constituents who are so unhappy about the cuts we made this past week and the impact on people's lives. And we stepped up and did our jobs as hard as it was. And how anybody could continue to let time kind of pass by without saying, all right, we're going to give the people the right to vote so that these sorts of cuts don't have to be magnified, it is beyond me. It's just beyond me. So I, again, sort of duality here. I'm going to support the governor. If the governor says, hey, let's let this continue for a couple more days or whatever, I will do that. But for me, on my own, we're ready to pull the plug. This isn't that hard. This is not that hard. We know that there are, things that we can and should do in the pension area, in the regulatory reform area, in the budget restraint area. God darn it, we've voted on and passed a number of spending restraint measures in this House over the past 3 years. Whether it is fear or just sort of the inability to negotiate in a way that narrows differences as opposed to continually expands them, this is ridiculous. And I think the people of California think it's ridiculous. And, I come out here every day, working day and night, trying to do right by the people of California, to give them a choice here. And this minority party cannot be part of the solution. I just, it's beyond me. And I think that the people of California see it that way as well. I know that the PPIC poll and all that, but let me tell you, once the choice is framed and it's on the ballot one way or the other, and people understand, which I do think they understand, that the other choice is not a good one, I think that they will respond positively. But, I think those poll numbers are a reflection of the fact that there is still tumult here, and it's not yet on the ballot.
Senator, what occurred in the talks yesterday that has brought you to this point? Yeah.
I think we've been waiting all day for a term sheet that never came. That's what. And maybe today it will appear.
I hear that there's a deal close to spending.
I read that on the wire too, and I know that there has been good discussion on the spending restraint, and I've been part of that discussion. And I think that there are some concepts out there that we can in fact work with. But it's the old thing. You need to say, this is what we need in order to put up the following votes. Not a bloated first offer that you expect the other side to reject or to counter. We're so well beyond that. And these issues have been vetted now for months. Bottom line, here's how far we can and will go, and we're willing to go far. Here's what we need in order to put up the votes to give people a choice and a vote. Done. We're waiting. We've been waiting for months. I cannot tell you that, the numbers of days and nights I spend in this office. Not sleeping, but, but feeling like it. Just sort of, and me, I have a very busy schedule, and I like to get into the detail. I can't tell you how much time I've spent actually sort of waiting. I mean, it's ridiculous. Waiting for, a sophisticated proposal that you can work with. And, you talk to the governor about how he feels about it, but bottom line, we're going to stick with the gov, but, the mood meter is a little different today.
Senator, you said this is the week.
Yeah, well.
Why didn't you pull the plug today and have a vote? It seems like the deadline keeps extending, and this gives them more time to negotiate. And if they want to negotiate as long as they can.
My conversations with the governor and the speaker today, will include setting a floor date for a vote. It will. One of the reasons why we didn't do that today is because we all know that the alternatives, right, are not perfect. In fact, they're far from perfect. So, it is maddening because, and you've got there's nothing wrong with some emotion, but you also need to make sure you check that and you think and act logically as well. And so it's, that balance. And we're going to do that. We didn't do it today because as of yesterday, the things that were being talked about were positive. But, it's just step back for a moment again. Got this $27 billion deficit. We step up, we make huge cuts. We're hearing that, obviously, from the people of California. We know from the legislative analysts that to do a second half of cuts is devastating to public education. It's devastating to public safety. This realignment proposal depends upon funding. That's why the sheriffs and everybody, they've been great. The counties have been great, but they're very nervous, understandably. Everybody knows what has to be done here, and yet whether it's lack of a will or just, negotiations 1A, it's not happened yet. Maybe it will today.
Is there added pressure because of the initiatives that were filed yesterday, pension and the spending?
Well, I don't know yet how to read those in terms of what the significance here. I think it maybe is a statement about a November ballot measure because if I assume those folks, if they can raise the millions of dollars it takes to put an initiative on the ballot, that they would be thinking about November. And of course, 3 days ago, the governor himself talked about November. So maybe it was a counterpoint that one scenario here. I don't know. You got to deal with what we have in front of us, and we're willing to deal with pensions. We're willing to deal with spending restraint, and we're willing to deal with regulatory reform in real ways, in ways that, I'm sure will make a lot of the folks that, we represent also unhappy. But God darn, this is about bringing fiscal stability to California, and about doing our jobs. And you know what? I'm damn proud of my colleagues on the Democratic side of the aisle who have not whined, have not complained, have stepped up and have done their jobs. And it's high time that the other side participate in governing this state. That's it. Okay.